I will start with a call to order and a roll call.
Let's see, Cheryl Tucker.
Here.
Mike Storino's absent today. Sarah Collantine.
Here.
Donna Noxon.
Here.
Christine Murphy.
Here.
Sam Bossum.
Here.
And Ryan Pazar.
Here.
I guess I was late and I missed the swearing in, I feel.
Yeah, Hosanna got in and out real quick. And,
Walking in, she was walking out.
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Just wanna make
any
sure she was official.
public comments on agenda items? Public? Any amendments to the agenda? Can we have a vote for the approval of last meeting's minutes?
So we'll need a motion, Sam.
Yeah, I'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
And we'll need a second.
I'll second it.
So Donna and Cheryl. And then we can just do a voice vote.
A voice vote for approval of the meeting minutes?
Aye. Aye.
Aye? Okay, good. Move along, we'll move on.
Is Sam, any opposed? I don't think so, but opposed?
No opposed. Department staff updates. Gina, would you like to lead us off?
Okay, so we'll start out with a program update. In September, the seniors met for 25 programs and that equaled 330 people in attendance. For some reason, my mouth isn't working right. 25 programs, 330 in attendance. Athletics. Soccer pictures will be held on Monday, October 16th. Final games of the season will be held on Saturday, October 21st. The season's going by very quickly. Pickleball, we are offering open pickleball at Jackson on Monday evenings, Jackson Middle School, from 6:45 to 8:45. We've had an average of approximately 8 people each week. We still have open pickleball at the Iowa Community Center on Saturday mornings, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We have a smaller group, and it's a little bit less consistent on Saturday mornings. Basketball, we have 38 registered. For the basketball league as of October 9th. Last year at the same time, we had 32 registered. Practices start Tuesday, November 8th at the Iowa Community Center, Jackson Middle School, and Jefferson Middle School. Games start at Willowbrook High School November 18th. Women's volleyball games are being held at Jackson Middle School and are progressing into the season and will conclude in December for the first half and then start back up after the holidays. Preschool went on a field trip to Sunny Acres Farm on October 4th. And the Villa Park Fire Department is visiting this week, today and tomorrow. This is Fire Prevention Week, and it's something that the preschool always acknowledges, and it's a good experience for them to talk with the firemen and see what they look like when they're all in uniform, because that looks different than when it's just a person talking to you. We have a new program this year. I'm sure I've talked about it before, Little Learners. It runs on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 to 11:30, and then 11:30 to 4. We're averaging 32 participants a week for the first 5 weeks. Discover Dance has 8 classes running. 61 participants are enrolled. Last year we had 40, so that is up. And moving on to events, Brewfest was this past Saturday, October 7th. It was a very nice day. It was sunny and crisp. It's like I think it's our first sunny, crisp Brewfest, so it was a nice day. We sold 413 tickets. It's a good number. Last year we sold 514. So we set a record last year. But then 21 was 309, and in 2019 was 363. So well received. We had 2 food trucks. We were supposed to have 3, but one of them canceled in the last week. So we had Flavor Frenzy and Spoon Burger. Flavor Frenzy was able to expand its menu as a result of the barbecue food truck that canceled. People were very, very happy with both selections. We received positive feedback while at the event. And we added something new this year. We had a Stein holding contest, which I didn't even know was a thing. But you fill a large steins with water, and you have to hold them with your arms straight out. And, it's not easy to do. So it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and people start to not be able to hold it anymore. But we ran 3 rounds of that. So that was fun. We had good participation and even very good spectator. People were watching, so that was fun. It was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We had 16 brewers this year, which are a little bit less than we've had previously, but I had somebody come up to me and say that they felt like it was a perfect amount of brewers, that people weren't on top of each other, and we showcased over 45 different brews. Halloween Happenings is October 20th from 5 to 7 at the Iowa Community Center. It's held rain or shine. The outdoor portion is booths that are set up by community groups, and then kids can trick or treat from booth to booth. And then there's no fee to participate in that. And then we have Crosstown Exotics. It's a live reptile show that will be indoors, and there is a $5 fee per person to come inside. Scarecrow Decorating Contest, co-sponsored by Villa Park Ace Hardware. They donate part of the kit. We charge $15. Pickup started October 6th. We have 8 families registered as of the 9th yesterday. Last year we had 2. Last year was the first year. Scarecrows, this is the difference. One of our commission members had suggested we put the scarecrows out into the community. We talked about the Prairie Path, but we didn't want to be copycats from the Christmas holiday events. So we're going to display them at Village Hall from October 24th through November 7th. Judging will take place on October 27th through the 30th, and the winner will be announced Tuesday, October 31st on Halloween. Ace Hardware did donate 100 stakes, rope, and screws for part of the scarecrow. And we noticed last week that there were really cool-looking scarecrows up and down Ardmore Avenue, I think between Washington and Madison, if I'm not mistaken. And turns out that somebody on the block is sponsoring a scarecrow put-together project. We found that on Facebook. He's charging $15, and then handing out the supplies. And there's quite a few scarecrows up and down Ardmore. So they're very nice scarecrows. They look great, but that's not part of the Village's program. The scarecrows from our program will be at Village Hall. So it's kind of nice, some down the block, and then some just south of St. Charles. And that is my report.
You said October 24th through the 7th
They'll be displayed.
displayed at Village Hall. The
Yes.
ones that we're running, not the Ardmore contest. The ones that
The Village, the Recreation Division scarecrows will be at Village Hall October 24th to November 7th.
okay.
Any other questions?
Is the runners taking care of what we used to have at, where you had it split in the morning and afternoon? Was it,
It's,
or is it different? I was just curious.
it's an opportunity for children in that age group to be part of what we do. You know, we don't have the licensed daycare anymore, so the Little Learners meets for a shorter amount of time. Have it broken up into morning and afternoon, and then there's activities that go on that change. There's arts and crafts, there's large motor time. So it is, in a way, taking the place of that, but, we do have preschool also. There's a question that came up at the board meeting. Might have been a meeting, not yesterday, but maybe the one before that. We have preschool for 2 to 4-year-olds this year, which we've never had preschool for 2-year-olds before. And we will be taking that preschool program to the new rec center.
Okay, so the preschool program is still in effect then?
Yes.
This
Yes.
program is not taking over the preschool program?
No, it's two
Okay.
different programs.
Okay. Well, I was curious. You said it had started, and I know we ended one of the programs because we lost certification or whatever. It was there,
Yeah,
but we couldn't
DCFS
do it. Yeah.
have changed their requirements, which made it more and more challenging to find staff. We couldn't find staff. And unfortunately, the staff we had, several left during COVID and were able to get other jobs with, private daycares or even in public schools because some of them had 4-year degrees. So, we have preschool. It's the same program, but it's not licensed. And I did call around to find out if our neighboring communities have a licensed daycare, and none of the park districts, municipalities in our surrounding area have licensed daycare. Yes.
The Little Learners, is that a drop-in program? So if you just wanted to bring your kid on a Wednesday and from 8 to 11, or is it a rigid, Monday through Friday?
It's only Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we probably could facilitate someone who just showed up that day, but we schedule staff for, kind of how it's rolling
How many
out now,
people are-
so we wouldn't want, to have too many children and not enough staff. So I would recommend that people, call in advance. But we probably could take a couple drop-in if they just came that day. And when we notice that the kids are not in preschool, they'll sign up for, those families will sign up for Little Learners, so the kids can be busy.
Okay.
I have one question. So what was the longest time for the Mughold or Steinhold? Like, how can you-
All the stats I have in my head and written down, I don't know. We
Oh, I was
did
curious, like
separate.
generally how long that was. That's-
Yeah, we had men separate from women, because we had women that competed too. I think it was somewhere probably in between 5 and 10 minutes, but I don't have the exact number for you.
I just have a flashback because in the military, you had to do M16 meditation sometimes. You just had to hold your rifle and think about what you've done.
Okay, well, there were no rifles present.
Well, I'm thankful for that, but
Only very good libations and some heavy steins.
I was curious how long you could hold the,
Yeah, well, it was funny because you could see, like, one of the guys who was doing well started to bend his arm, and that gives you a little bit of an advantage. You don't realize it, but if you held something heavy with your arm out and then bent it a little, you have a little bit more leverage. So
that's
it was good fun.
Awesome, thank you.
And people didn't know about that ahead of time. We announced it as we walked around and, signed people up. It was free. And then we gave away small trinkets, a bottle opener and a koozie and things like that.
Gina, you said for the Scarecrow contest that you didn't want to be copycats for like a Christmas event? I'm
Yep.
new here, so what's the Christmas event?
So, Villa Park has a program, or an event called Joyful Traditions, and the people in town, it's community groups and individuals, can sponsor a tree that's along the prairie path.
Yeah.
And there's lights on it, and then there's a particular night, usually it's the first Saturday in December, where, Santa's here and there's food and, all kinds of, it's a big event. And originally, Donna had suggested that we put the scarecrows on the prairie path, and I thought, well, we have Christmas trees on the prairie path for now, let's maybe try the scarecrows someplace else, because last year, they were in front of people's homes, the people who participated, and then we went out and took a look at them, and they sent pictures in. So we just thought we would try, around Village Hall, not to try to steal the thunder of joyful traditions, and also to have our own.
Is that like through the village as well, the joyful traditions, or is that?
The chamber.
The chamber, okay,
Mhm.
all right.
We assist
Okay.
the chamber with setup and putting up the
They
trees.
get
Yeah.
they, I guess, order the trees, I think. We put the trees up,
Yep.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
they order and we put them up.
Because I do like that scare, like on the prairie path.
Yeah.
Like, I walk on it every day, and like, I know my daughter would
Yeah.
enjoy seeing them, so I know you don't want
If you like
copycat,
that,
but like,
Glen,
think it's a bad
Glen
idea.
Ellen does
Okay,
it.
thank you.
But I don't know if they're doing it this year, because Glen Ellen is all torn up downtown, but we
This is the
went, I
first year.
don't know if it was last year or the year before.
Scarecrow.
Second.
And they have them all in
Last
front of
year
the
they put it in front of their
businesses.
homes.
yeah.
Can we get some more, social media postings on that? Because it's been few and far between seeing that, and I'd like to see it successful.
The scarecrow?
Yes.
We just, actually, I saw something that went out today, not social media, but through our electronic newsletter. But yes, I will talk with Kathy and Donnie about getting that on Facebook and.
Yeah, staff's pretty good about getting some items to Donnie and
Yeah, it
people.
seems like Facebook gets a lot of action. And there was like one event that I didn't even know what was going on, because, I'm on Facebook every day, and then I saw the pictures afterwards, I'm like, gosh, I don't even remember this being posted. So I think it's an integral part of
Right, and we do send
success or
stuff
not
over.
success,
Yep.
right?
I was just going to say, on the cover of the fall-winter brochure is this winning scarecrow from last year.
Oh, that's cute. Is it like advertised to the programs, so like the preschools and stuff, like if each class wanted to sponsor
A scarecrow?
or something, so like that one might be a fun activity for the kids to do, to like decorate a scarecrow, like if the parents want to.
We do advertise it through the preschool, but it has been like families that do it. So I think we've had several participants from preschool that their family participated rather than the class itself. But that's certainly something we can do.
Or just different programs, like not just the preschool, but like, there's other clubs in town that wanted to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Questions?
Nope.
Okay. Greg, you gonna give the Parks and Fleet update for Brian, or?
He's off this week. I have a couple things that I've asked him to do. One of them, if you've driven by Lovekin, the weeds are starting to grow, and it almost looks like some trees, so we wanted to find out through Public Works if that was our responsibility, or DuPage County to maintain, because they do have, we have an agreement with them that they're going to maintain some of the property for 3 years, and it's mostly the plantings that they're doing. So I got a note today that we can go ahead and weed whack some of the taller weeds that are around the pond. And of course, on the north end, that's getting a little higher, but we're going to start construction. So anyway, and I'll touch upon that a little bit on the other reports. So Lovekin, we're working on budgets right now, finishing those up. I know Brian and Gina we've talked about getting a pool liner for Jefferson, so that's in the budget. Because we're having a little bit of issues on the shell, not many, but it's 60-plus years old. So we figure we'll budget for a pool liner, and that'll alleviate some of the problems. We did have, if you remember, in the summer, we did have some concrete that we had to replace. I think that was on the higher side of the deep end.
Where you would touch.
Yeah.
Your, swimming laps.
So So our intention is to put a new liner in that pool and give it, extend its life. We also had, Brian had contracted for a roofer to complete the Fleet Department roof and Police Department. So those were approved a couple meetings ago. The contract's been signed, so want to get that started before winter comes. So fingers crossed that we can get that done. And then just, he's doing some fall cleanup and like the garden plots. Your staff sends out the notices, right? For we'll turn over all the plantings. If they need to harvest things within the next few weeks, they need to do that. I can't recall what the date is for them to.
Halloween?
Is it Halloween? Okay, so they have a couple weeks, and then we plow all that stuff under in preparation for next spring. And it was a successful season. I think we had all but 2 garden plots sold. And if you've driven by there, there's a lot of plants that are up there. Some people will plant and then forget about them halfway through, and they'll be pretty high. But anyway, so that's been going on for a number of years, and we were trying to look for other locations in the village for some other garden plots, and we'll have to find out where those can go, since it's been a popular little program. We also met with Villa Park Youth Baseball to discuss the agreement with us and the school district. They did cut us a check this year for $15,000 for the maintenance. When we met with them, there was some talk of them taking on the maintenance themselves. So we'll see how that comes about, especially with the school district. They'll have to work out whatever with the school district. And on our fields, we'll still prep the fields. We'll do the initial prep. And then if they want to come and drag the fields and then line, that could save them some money. But they're not doing full maintenance on our fields. We can't have them do that. But we can certainly turn the fields over, and then prior to the games, they can drag them and line them with the chalk. So, and then I met with Willowbrook High School about the tennis courts. I don't know if you've heard about, if you've driven down High Ridge Road, those lights.
Oh.
Those lights are like, they're beacons. So I met with the high school. We talked about the hours. They wanted the hours, the lights to go off at 9:30, so we adjusted the schedule, because they used to go off at 11, I believe, 10 o'clock, 10:30 or 11. So we adjusted the time when the lights go off, which is 9:30. And we'll probably be turning them off for the season sometime in November. Sometimes you get some nice days in November, and it's just, turning the timer off. But they requested if we can help them take the lights and angle them down more on the courts. And so we need Public Works help in that, where they will take their high ranger and get up by the courts, on the north courts in particular, and then just take each individual set of lights and turn them. So don't know when that's going to happen. I asked the Public Works Director, Guerrera, if we can get to them before we finish out the season, so we're ready for next spring. Because next spring, when he wanted to get out a couple weeks ago when we had all that rain, and the ground was too soft to get that high ranger out there. So hopefully within the next few weeks they can do that. It looks like all you have to do is loosen up some bolts and just angle the lights down, so that should help. And now's a good time to do it before rain hits or whatever, because the ground's more firm. And then it'll be more firm now than it will be in the springtime. In the springtime, we won't be able to get at it because of all the snow melting. So I'm just waiting on Public Works to get back with us. And there was talk about them doing the south courts over there, kind of by the baseball field, into some pickleball courts. So don't know if that's a done deal with the school district or not, but that was one of the ideas.
Those are surprisingly controversial, pickleball.
Yeah.
Always, right. Yeah, but That's a good spot.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, it's a
no
good spot
housing.
for
Well,
it,
there's
right.
there are the condos over there, but there's really nothing to the north. It's all parking lot and the fire station. So. And then we did have the groundbreaking a couple weeks ago, so thanks to everybody that came out. Appreciate it. It was kind of a nice event at Lions. Straw poll, do we want to do that for Lufkin? Yep, okay, we can do that for Lufkin, we'll set something up, and we'll do a photo op for Lufkin. I think that'll be a nice way to kick things off, and then I'll go into my report on Lufkin in a minute, so. Let's see if I have anything else. Nope, that's all I have on that.
So did we talking about the heater system at the Village Hall? Is that, because he had brought up, they were gonna replace the rooftop.
Heater's all done.
Those are all done?
Yep, heater and AC.
The AC are done?
Yep.
When are they gonna remove the heater? Sometime in the winter?
Don't know,
Okay,
we're working on that.
Gonna have to go through some other thing? or-
Brian thinks that, in talking to Jim, our lead specialist, that we might be able to do that in-house, just to remove the piping that goes up to the radiators on the second floor. And we'll have to investigate that. They're working on it. So there's two systems now. There's the old boiler system, which will still heat the first floor. And then the new unit, the new heater and AC will, it's like a central air up on the second floor for the AC. Unfortunately, the first floor, they still have to have window units like we have over here. Want me to go ahead?
Yeah,
On
please
the
go ahead.
Lufkin, 6A?
Okay, go move to Lufkin, the business.
So, last night's meeting, the board approved we went out to bid in early September for the labor contracts for the install of all the things that we bought for Lufkin Park. We had 8 companies request the bid specs and the bid packets, and then 3 showed up for the bids, and they were rather high. So what we did, we looked at the low bidder, and according to Dan, some areas were extremely high. I can't call offhand, but we had, the pathway was about $130,000. He budgeted half that. So there were some areas that were like, well, my guys did the path around North Terrace. Well, let's save some money, and we can do the paths around Lufkin. And so my guys will do that, during our normal workday, and we'll just have to pay for the materials. So there was about $338,000 off the top of my head worth of savings off that contract. And so the board approved that last night, which was a good thing, and we're ready to move forward. So
Who was the contractor?
it's called Innovation Landscaping, and they're out of Oswego. Yes.
Yes, based on the agenda item last night and the way it was documented, it did state that some of the line items were quoted as being higher installation costs than what we had originally anticipated, and it also did document that staff was going to take on additional responsibilities with respect to some of those line items. Are there any amenities that will have to be removed from the plan based on the differential between what we're paying and
No.
what we thought we'd pay?
The amenities that we requested for the OSLAG grant have to remain, and we've already purchased most of those. The one piece of equipment or amenity that we have to purchase is the fishing pier overlook. So we've bought everything else. I think actually the playground has been delivered, the spray pad or all the materials for the spray pad have been delivered. We're getting the shelter and the building structure in a couple of weeks. We had to wait for some engineered drawings that were going back and forth. So we finally got those engineered drawings. So those are coming. They'll be delivered probably at the end of October, early part of November. So, yeah, the only thing we wanted to do, and we tried to get DuPage County to chip in, was a new parking lot. And we wanted to do a permeable paver lot, and it fits right in with the stormwater, DuPage County Stormwater's goals. But they couldn't do it for us. So what we'll do for the time being is we'll seal coat it, put fresh seal coat and line it, stripe it for parking. And then in a couple of years, when we have a little bit more money, we'll probably replace that and maybe do some permeable pavers. So that's the only thing that we plan that wasn't in the OSLAG grant application. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So anyway, full speed ahead, and we hope to start, I sent Dan, he showed up yesterday at the board meeting to answer any questions. There weren't any questions. I think the memo and the corresponding paperwork kind of explained everything. So I emailed him today, and like, okay, let me know, as soon as we get the signed contract back, you can have it, get it to Innovation, and let's get a schedule. So as soon as I have a schedule, I'll let y'all know.
Is the OSLA grant finalized? Because I know we had to go through steps to do that, so is it actually finalized that
We were awarded that back in,
we were awarded it, but they go through, you did the steps before you had this, the official assignment of it, was that actually done?
not following,
Okay, the OSLA grant was awarded to us,
Mhm.
but then they give a time frame of when we were gonna extend it because of the time frame of that.
We had-
And
yeah.
we didn't get started.
we have
Did you
until
get that?
October of 2024 to finish the product, the project.
So-
So we should be finished, I'm hoping we're finished way before that. It just depends if we have I think there's El Nino winter coming, but if we have a mild winter, last year, I don't think I shoveled maybe 3 times, twice. And up until December, it was fairly, I don't want to say mild, but there wasn't a lot of snow.
Be
so-
careful, we don't jinx it.
No, I know. Well, the El Nino, the contractor will work until they can't work, or it's, I don't know how, if we're laying concrete, it has to be a certain temperature. So they'll do as much as they can this year. But yeah, we're ready to go. OSLAG grant, we were awarded that. We got the executed signed letter of agreement. That was in October.
That's what I
So
was
we're,
asking about the OSLA.
yeah, we're ready to go with that. So that's, all we need to do now is send them quarterly reports, and once we're done, sign off on everything and get our money. This is something new, and that last OSLAG grant was for $400,000. If you recall, the one we're doing for Lions Park is now up to $600,000. We were a little late or a little early on the $600,000. It would have been nice to have 600, but this was something new. I've never seen it with the other OSLAG grants, is that they're willing to pay you half of the grant money before your project is done. So I said, sign us up. So I have to find out if we have to spend half of our money before, the total project money before we get that. I have to find that out. I have to contact our grant administrator. So if we can get 200 this year and 200 next, that's great. So that's all for Lovekin. So I will, within the next couple of weeks, we'll send something out, and we'll do hopefully a Friday afternoon, if it's nice. We'll do a nice groundbreaking photo op like we did for Lions.
Let's hope for as good as weather.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's perfect weather. Let's hope it's good for the next one.
fingers crossed that we'll get some good weather. And then the next item for Lions, the rec center. So we're we're ready to go. The construction company, WB Olson Management Company's got all their stuff out there, their storage unit and the construction trailers out there. So they're ready to go. We just got the permit back from permitting today for the foundation and everything, so we're ready to go. As soon as, hopefully by the end of this week, they'll start. And then it's full speed ahead with that project. And then, so if you recall, a few months ago, high-level promotions came out, and, well, they did a little presentation. That's why I've shared with you their presentation that they gave to the board a month ago. Maybe it was a month and a half. Well, this was August 9th, so, well, 2 months. So this is the presentation they gave to the board. The board had tabled the discussion, or tabled awarding the contract until the next meeting, and then they tabled it again. So they came back and they had some questions. And one of the questions was, they were looking for the rec commission on what the rec commission would like to see sponsored, like the areas. As far as in the middle, like page 6 of 7, I think it is, on the second paragraph about, let's talk about opportunity, and you guys can keep this, of course, but this is what they kind of went through. 30,000-foot view with the anticipation of getting to the ground level upon execution of agreements with the assets, including the naming of the facility. That's a potential. Indoor, outdoor opportunities. We talked about maybe scoreboards, lighting, broadband opportunities, beverage services, and more, which, you know, we're thinking if we can get a flooring company that wants to sponsor the gym floor or the weight room floor or the dance floor, those are certainly some possibilities. I'm not going to say any more, but if you guys have any ideas of what you would like to see, I think that's what the direction the board is looking for. So I'd like some feedback on some of the ideas you folks may want to see sponsored. I also put on, Gina gave us this little table about the space that we have. So we have one full gym, but we have the ability to separate into two. So we have A and B, or we have the full gym, we have the indoor track, and then you guys can follow weight room, cardio room, dance and fitness. The multi-purpose room is the large, we call it the senior room, but that has the ability to be split in half as well. So we can have two programs going at once, or if a large senior comes in for a birthday lunch and lunch or some other programs, I mean, we can accommodate 75 people, 100 people easily.
Yeah.
So there's some ideas, or there's the room sizes, or not, excuse me, not the sizes, but just the rooms that'll be available, which you guys have all seen the conceptual designs anyway, so you're familiar with that. So I'll take some feedback on that if I can. And let's see. Our feeling is if we have a high-level promotions or whoever comes out and finds us money for sponsorships, why not? So.
Yeah, from my perspective, if someone is willing to sponsor the toilet paper roll holder and they're going to pay for it, I'm for it, you know, from an economic perspective. So I guess the question might be, is there anything you wouldn't want to have sponsored?
Well, you know, who are we talking to? You know, we certainly don't want like signs all over the place, you know.
You don't want like a block
Yeah.
representing your gymnasium.
Yeah, no, we're you know, and it's up to the board to approve the sponsorships. You know, but I mean, we don't want, you know, signage on above every urinal or every toilet, or, you know, we kind of still want to maintain a nice, clean look.
Okay.
And he said that, we don't want, we're not going to.
Yeah.
The gentleman from
NASCAR.
high level, no
Yeah.
NASCAR, you
You
know,
know, it
this
look
is.
like NASCAR with all the sponsorships on the
Yeah.
cars. So we don't want to do that, but there's got to be a balance of where we can get some sponsorship and help with the cost of the building, and then down the road with operations.
One of the things that came up just quickly at the board meeting was that a couple of the board members didn't know what was going to be included in the new rec center. The different rooms, the different, you know, programmable spaces. And I think the question came from, well, what, how many different things can we sponsor? The track can be sponsored separate from the gym floor, and so forth. So that's why I made this list of the 12 programmable spaces. We don't, we have 2 classrooms that we will be using for early childhood, but, the trend right now is to be able to switch from, early childhood at a certain point to something else, so that they literally are multi-purpose, the classrooms are, the spaces are. So, although it doesn't say preschool classroom, these will be, the equipment that we purchase and so forth will be so that we can hold preschool and early childhood in both of those classrooms.
But in the evening, we can certainly
We could switch it out.
switch it out to we can have tables such as this, and do some older kids, adult programs in there.
Is there any thought to like a sponsorship, like wall?
That
Where like
popped into my
community,
head.
like community
Yeah.
at different levels
Yeah.
could have, or like bricks, I don't know.
They
that's
do
something
have
that's-
sponsorship levels too that they touched upon, but a wall would be okay. I've seen some places that, the fitness room was sponsored by, ABC Fitness, and there's a sign above the door.
They also have like walls that have like 5,000, 10,000,
Mhm.
type of
Yeah.
things, so you can get like families to donate and get like their little name on something.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the family route, but it was just more corporate sponsorships.
And then the other thing is, there's been, like, we have a water bottle filling station down there.
Mhm.
Like, those companies sponsor a lot of stuff too. So that company in particular sponsors a whole lot of stuff. So that's definitely something that we could tap our contractors and be like, hey, who are you getting most of the stuff from? Because that's a big company that spends a lot of money in schools right now,
Mhm.
schools, gymnasiums, park districts.
Mhm.
I want to extend your list, because we're eventually going to have the basketball court, that patio, the playground, and the ball field.
I was concentrating indoors.
Well, I know that, but if you're going that route, I would like to add those to it too, if we're looking for, you ask for adding to the list.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
That we should add those to the list too, for future things down the line that can be added to it.
First thing that came to our mind was a scoreboard out, because we don't have a scoreboard at Lions.
So those are some things
So-
you can add to your list as they're going through the approval, as we're moving forward.
Electronics.
Because that ball field was a big,
Yeah.
event for a lot of people, so, you might want to add the ball field to it, add a list of some of the things that we're looking for them to, patio, the basketball court, the playground.
Yep, thank you.
Pickleball, too?
Because I believe they were asking, what, when they wanted to do the namesake, we might as well move that way. I don't know, and you brought up the brick idea. Is there a way that we could do the memory bricks eventually at that site like we do at Veterans Park? I mean, the memorial bricks, we do that. Is there some place in the works later on for that? I don't know what the structure is for the outdoor patio we're talking about, or the outdoor.
Yeah, the gazebo area.
The gazebo area, but is that a possibility that we could do sponsored bricks or something in that line, for thinking bigger?
Yeah, actually, that would probably be a better,
So it's a family.
that would be a better
or
opportunity
something?
with the OSLIGHT grant, because we haven't started on materials, and, we've got the basic amenities. We need a playground, we need the pickleball court, basketball court. So with the construction of the rec center, materials have already been kind of laid out. However, one of the things, do we want a sign up there, an LED sign? And maybe there's, if you've gone, even like when I drive home and go through Lombard, you have the sign on Main Street, has all the Lombard activities going on, something along those. There's an idea of getting a sign, electric sign, and then around there, maybe some memorial pavers or,
I'm just thinking
Yep.
of some outfit that families or, people don't park and take ownership that way, that they could put a brick and now they're taking ownership for the
Yeah.
rec center, that,
or maybe the walkway into the.
the walkway and some idea that maybe we could.
Yep, that's for sure.
you know,
We did it for Cortese, so it's,
Well, it's just an idea that we can start.
okay. Donna?
I want to hone in on the naming versus sponsorships. I do not think it will bode well with residents with their tax dollars being spent if it's named like First Midwest Bank Recreation Center. I don't think that'll bode well. I'd like to keep it something within our village scope. And I think George had said it best, do we want one person coming in with $100,000? Or do we want 10 people coming in with 10,000? Can we establish a minimum of what we want from each vendor to even entertain the thoughts of what they want to bring in?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring in just a 10,000, from my understanding of what High Level wants to do is make it a multi-year contract. So like, I don't believe, and I'll have to find out through them, if they're gonna take a $10,000 sponsorship fee and then get paid $2,000 a year. It's not worth it.
No, what I'm saying is I know the contracts run between 3 and 5 years. Say someone comes in and gives us $100,000. Less is best, because you're not gonna, if you have 10 people, for the 3 to 5 year contract, 10 people at 10,000, I would rather have one at 100,000. We have a threshold where we want to say, hey, to play a game, to play in our arena, you need to come up with at least $50,000 a year for 3 to 5
Yeah,
years.
I think that's part of the negotiation process when they talk about their contract and their split and what the board directs them to do. It's like, we don't want to, we'll take sponsorships for 10,000 a year, 50,000. Maybe that's the minimum.
But each one will have to be voted on by the board to be approved. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be piecemeal. I think they'll go out and try to find,
We'll put together a package and they'll.
yeah, here's
But I assume they'll have
sponsorships that
the,
we,
I assume they'll have line item veto if there's one they don't like, for whatever reason. You can't
Yeah,
trust those board members.
I'd hate to turn away any money. I mean, that if someone wants to give the village money, unless we don't
we're.
share the same values or
From-
something.
From 2021 till now, you know that the rec center's costing a little bit more, so we have to rake up that money. And what happens if somebody pledges $1 million to name it the, XYZ Bank at Lions Park?
Well, then I think the residents would be real happy with that. But I'm saying if someone's gonna come in and say, oh, well, $100,000, and then, 5 years after the contract up, then it's gonna be AT&T, and, I just,
Well,
I-
that's what the NFL does, it's not, I see it as a longer term. But this is all new to us.
Yeah, I think it's been, if the juice is worth the squeeze. If someone's gonna come in, I'm gonna name it, AT&T Rec Center, but I'm gonna give $1 million a year, they're probably gonna do that, right?
yeah, then,
But-
then we might not have to turn our cheek.
Well, I was polarizing to make a point, but yeah. But I'm saying it was a large enough number, I think
Yeah.
we would be in our best interest to consider it.
Cheryl had mentioned too, something about 501c3. A lot of companies can write it off for tax purposes if they give you the 501c, if they give it to us in a 501c3 Reed, Cheryl, did you want to link to that, something?
Yes.
Do we ever
There was-
find out?
there was well, I brought it up for the line item that they could do it to start making money towards the pool, for the new pool, and other things, that companies are more inclined to do it if it's a tax write-off and the promotion. And I don't know how, and I brought it up to our manager on how they would do a line item or how they could do that, because I think it has to be some type of a set type of line item. I'm not sure they could do that or not, but I did.
We have to become a 501c3 organization, foundation.
Right,
It's a foundation.
and you did not, at the time I brought it up, did not want to do that for the village, but I'm just saying, because I had asked them if we could do that to set aside for the pool, having, forming some type of 501c type of thing to start heading towards funding for some of, future of the.
But wouldn't it have to be separate from the village?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you can't
village
be,
cannot
village
be
can't do it.
a 501c3.
You and I could get together one and create one and the beneficiary would be the village, but, or, rec centers or whatever pools, but you can't, the village themselves can't do that.
Correct.
Or the park district, you guys can't do that.
Correct.
Right.
Rec department.
There would have to be a
It would have to be an
a
organization.
separate organization,
Correct.
a
And
foundation.
it's certainly worth looking into. I mean,
It's not,
Investigate.
as we found out when we had the, Save the Pool, becoming a 501(c)(3) is not a quick process.
No.
And it's not a trivial process, unfortunately.
No, I had talked to that group.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had that discussion.
Yeah, no.
On how to do that. And, I had that
It's not quick.
discussion with the village manager, and he said, we can't do it as a village. It has to be an independent
yeah.
organization. But I just thought if they're going through it, it's a possibility that there might be some type of 501 organization as they're looking for people, their namesake, that might be willing to. It's out there, it's a possibility. I'm not knowing what the options are, but.
yeah, I mean, they could certainly, I believe the library has a 501c3.
Friends of the library, yeah.
Friends of the library.
Yeah.
Something that could be looked into. Anyway, any more feedback on the direction of the sponsorships? We've got a lot of good suggestions, but.
Well, the way I look at it is the people we're hiring to do this are supposed to be the experts. Again, without going full NASCAR, I guess, I would want them to kind of give us direction. And obviously, in all the main indoor spaces, I think you had mentioned, but it's not here, but, would someone be willing to sponsor Wi-Fi in the building? Or would someone be able to sponsor, like George had a good idea of, the bottle filling stations, those types of things. So beyond just the spaces, which I hope we could get a sponsor for all the spaces, that's just what I would think of. But again, I'd be looking forward to getting advice and direction from the people we are partnering with who do this for a living.
High-level promotions.
Yeah, high-level promotions, yeah, I'm sorry. There's the plug-in.
No, I mean, just,
When George brought that up, that, I'm sure we could go the route of maybe some vendors, as we talk to the water station.
sure.
Eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll ask
Type of
for,
vendors for,
they're gonna ask us, who do we do business with, and I'm sure they can reach out to everybody that we did. If you remember, one of their things was to go locally first, and find companies that are local, and then in the area.
because if we're gonna-
If we have vendors that we've done a lot of work with, banks, certainly.
Looking at the list, I think our score should be the gym.
I don't know what's going on.
It's speaking to me.
It's not even on.
It's crazy.
It's locked. My apologies. There we go. Turn it off. Too many crickets.
looking at the list
It's possessed.
Gina's provided, I think it should be, one of the groups should be gym, one should be track, one should be the cardio, or the, the cardio in the fitness room, and the kitchen should be the main five. Because the multi-purpose, you don't want to put something, that's relating to infants, and then you're gonna have, it's all multi-purpose.
It could be more general, Donna,
Well, yeah, that'll be more general.
You know what, I have 4. What was the 5th one? I've got the gym, the track, the cardio, weight.
Fitness, and the kitchen.
cardio fitness is,
Oh,
You're
you're
counting
counting
as
that
a
as
one.
2? Cardio fitness, okay.
Are they two
Well,
separate
the
rooms
weight
though?
room and the fitness room.
No, it's one room.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I put weight,
We
cardio.
have-
No,
Those should be
you guys said
our core.
cardio fitness, and those are separate on there, so are they two separate rooms then?
No, I'm sorry. The dance fitness,
Yeah.
that could be a room that is sponsored, because that we would only have an instructor.
Is that gonna be separate from the weight cardio?
Yes.
the weight room
Yeah.
is, the weight room, well, they both can do cardio, because
Right,
the
yeah,
dance
right.
could do, aerobics, jazzercise, that's cardio, so that's dance/fitness, let's say. And then the weight room is a separate entity, which has cardio.
That's
in
what I
there.
meant, when I put
Yes.
weight cardio, so I'm,
Isn't that more of
treadmills.
machines?
There's
you know?
treadmills and
Yeah, there's
Ellipticals
machines, cardio-based machines
cardio-based
versus
machines, right.
an open space where you can do jazzercise.
If we
or
could
whatever.
find a fitness company that, one of the machine companies that supplies free weights, or even those selectorized individual pieces of weight equipment. Maybe there's a Life Fitness, there's Precor.
yep, Precor, Life,
Have you ever encountered where, this is going back in time, like Nautilus Fitness comes in and they say that they will
Yeah,
give you all their machines and you just have to sign a contract for 3 to 5 years? You see a lot of that, and is that a savings for us versus
Yep.
us purchasing?
we either purchase or lease, and we did have a company come in and actually make that proposal to us. And then what they would do is when other park districts or rec departments or whoever wanted to see equipment, we'd be the place where they would go, and we would allow them to come in. Unfortunately, we met with them, was that in the summertime? And they were looking for, they thought the rec center was going to be built right away. They
Was
wanted
imminent.
something in right now. So, but there could be another fitness company out there that would do that, so. Timing, timing is everything.
That dance floor is a special floor, isn't it? Or is it?
yes, it would be specific for,
So it would be a specific floor, so.
like the gym floor is a specific.
We could basically, if they got it, we could get a company that actually would sponsor that floor, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's an option,
That'd be an option to.
for sure.
I know that floor is a special type floor, so it's an option that we could do that.
So the Board of Trustees is looking for some input from the commission. How is that going to happen?
Well, they just gave us their input.
So you're going to relay it then? I just didn't know if that meant that they
Well,
want,
They asked for, what's going in the rec center, so we're going to provide them with, thank you. We're going to provide them with all the different rooms, what's going to be in,
types of programs.
and the types of programs. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programs. We're not going to list programs. We're going to give them the program areas. There's.
Well, that's the main
there are 8,
spaces,
10
where-
10 different program areas.
and these are kind of the 12 main spaces.
Yeah.
that we-
Yeah, that-
Plus, the- yeah.
All 12 are programming spaces.
Yeah, so I think this is good, because if you start doing like what you can do in gym A.
No,
No.
because you're.
It'll be a
you're-
binder.
Yeah, you
It'll be a
have
2-inch binder.
300 pages.
So I think
But we can provide them with the areas, early childhood,
Youth non-sport.
yeah.
Athletics.
Fitness, athletics, dance, seniors, yeah.
So are Are we looking to sponsor out like the name of the recreation center?
I
Or is
don't-
it going to be Lions Park Recreation Center?
That's something that the board has to give us direction on.
I would be opposed to that. Like, it's a Villa Park thing. You want to keep, like, it doesn't matter if that sponsorship goes away, like, you want people to say, like, I'm going here, right?
Yeah.
That's my,
Yeah. well,
that's my opinion, that like, I don't think that the name should be given out. Everything else, go for it, but like,
That's, again, that's a,
Kind of how I feel.
I
Yeah,
don't like
I mean, we're-
that. Like, it's just like, every 5 years, like, you're gonna have to change the sign then?
Yeah.
So a
That's
lot
kind of
of
like our
these-
pride.
So even with these guys, they were talking about how it's typically not, you know, the entire building, but it's part of it, or it's a sponsorship, and I think they have it in here.
I think the gyms and the rooms and all
Yeah.
that, like, go for it, but like, the sign on the front of the building should be Villa Park. And like, should just be what it is.
I don't disagree.
And I like the
but-
sponsorship wall too, like, if you wanna walk in and have that be available.
I know, the park district I belong to, it's kind of like we did up in the boardroom with the tree and the leaves.
Yeah.
And and so residents donate and their name goes up on the leaf on the tree. We try to do that at,
Or whatever, the walk-in area and the kind of.
yeah, the foyer. We kind of did that with when we had a program where folks can donate a tree to Villa Park, and so their name goes up by the boardroom on that wall. So that's something,
Cause then you can take any amount of donation and put it
Correct.
up there,
Yeah.
and that would be really nice for the
Yes.
community. But to avoid the NASCAR looking
yeah.
advertisement, like, obviously you want as much sponsorship as you can get, but I think that if, like, focus on the signage and make it all clean and more discreet, like, the name is still there, but if it's all the same, like, it gets to look like NASCAR when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
use their logo. But if you just have it be like a set, like, this is the signage for the sponsorship, and it's all the same, then it looks clean.
Agreed,
Yeah.
but in order to get, and just on the
Yeah,
flip side,
yeah.
these
Sponsors.
companies, they've invested
Right, they want-
tons
I know,
for their
I get
logo.
that.
You know, whatever their logo is,
Yeah.
and just to put in block letters or whatever, you
Right,
know,
right.
we certainly don't want to limit ourselves, like, and, you know, we could do something in the front, you know,
Right.
this, here's their sponsors, and he could do a little, something with their logo in like the weight room, if it's Life Fitness, they have a nice, you know, the weight room brought to you by Life Fitness, and it's up in the
You
corner.
could still do their logo, but do it in a way that it's like
Platform.
flat, well, that it's,
More of a platform instead of a big.
Yeah.
Well, you could know,
Flying thing,
like,
Like
if you did
formatted.
it, formatted where it's the same color scheme, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever you want, you know?
Right, but again, you know.
I get that, yeah.
If Coca-Cola is sponsoring
Yeah, we're
us,
not-
they're going to
they're
want
not-
the red and white.
They're not doing blue
Yeah, with
Coca-Cola,
their-
you know, that's the
No,
thing.
yeah,
But no, I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from, because that's the cleanest look, especially, and if you do something in the kitchen area, if Coca-Cola or Pepsi is the beverage sponsor,
Yeah.
you know, you've seen the menu boards with Coca-Cola, you put that in there on the menu boards, right? And they give you the coolers or the freezers, or, you know, the refrigerators that have the Coke logo or Pepsi, so those type of things, so,
Right.
not necessarily signage, but.
Any more topics to cover on the Lions?
No, there's gonna be a lot of construction happening over there, so.
I don't know, it'd be fun to watch it.
And I mentioned a couple Fridays ago that, you know, once the walls go up and everything, maybe we can schedule a time where everybody can walk through. It'll probably be after the walls and the roof is up, but, you know, so they're periodically, maybe a WB will say, hey, you know, we're at the point now, you guys want to come and take a look. You know, I'll certainly let you guys know so we can bring you through there.
Do we have any indication of when the union project is going to start and how that will coincide with our project?
No, I'm hoping, I guess, from what I understand, I mean, I'm not involved with it next year, I guess. I don't know.
parking was gonna be an integral part of
Yeah.
our project.
Hopefully, start of next, I don't know, Donna, you can tell. But Mark McLaughlin is kind of heading that up now, so, Community Development Director. Hopefully before the other one over on Vermont. and Ardmore.
Any other questions on the rec center before we move on? Excellent. Are there any public comments on non-agenda items? No. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Murphy, would you like to start us out?
Yes, I have one. I'm hoping that we can entertain for the 2024 budget. We've just recently had a new coffee shop open in Villa Park called Villa Park on Central and Villa, which is adjacent to our Rotary Park. And it would be lovely if we could add a couple more picnic tables and bike racks over there. For next year would be great. With the season changing, I don't see it as a priority for this year, but it would be lovely in the spring of next year and very supportive of that new business. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Knoxon?
I have nothing.
Comments. Commissioner Galantine?
Just
Galantine,
excited
sorry.
to see the construction.
Yeah, that's freaking
It's very exciting.
Commissioner Tucker?
I have pears I brought from my pear tree.
I was wondering how that was gonna fit
Pears, I
in.
bought some. We are doing a photo thing, correct? As they do the building, we are doing some segment or videotaping for publicity, or, I know
Oh.
you said we were gonna get some type of a signage out there. Are we also gonna get?
Signage is out there already.
Right.
Brian has just used like our trail cams. There was a company that contacted me about possibly doing the, what do you call the video?
Time lapse.
Time
Time
lapse.
Okay.
But I don't know how much it's gonna cost, and I'm really leery about spending any more money because of where we're at with the budget. But
Well, I'm just curious, you said that we're gonna talk to, I'm getting a chance to go through it. At that point, could we do pictures too, maybe?
yeah, Donnie will be out there periodically too.
Yeah, periodically
Yeah.
to take
Sure.
pictures and get
course.
pictures like that on the
Yep.
website.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking.
I think
because
what-
That would be very expensive
Yeah.
to do the time lapse, but I'm just saying, could we work it so as they're doing it, we've got our own time lapse, basically. what Donnie's
WB
gonna be taking
Olson,
pictures.
they do that, so when there's certain time, like when they get the walls up, they'll have some pictures, and when they get the roof up, and then maybe the interior, the drywall is finished. So yeah, we'll get some pictures from them, and we'll be able to go in there and take some too. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I was thinking more time lapse, which
No,
would be
I'm
really
more-
nice
I
and
just
really
would
cool.
Like
Be really
Facebook,
cool.
if we could have pictures, or on our website, we can continue to have pictures on how the development is going
yep.
along.
You
type
bet.
thing.
Yep.
And is it possible to get a schedule on when the equipment's going up on Lufkin, on what order that they're doing it? Like, if the labor team's gonna put together the
Yeah.
ninja thing, if we could have some type of schedule, okay, this part's going up, or this part's going up, so we can get
Yeah.
kind of pictures of that, and sort of a schedule of
Yes.
where.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be weather related or whatever it is, but if we could get some type of, sort type schedule of when they're gonna be put in, because I know a lot of people are like, okay, when are we gonna see our park done?
Yeah, I sent
What
some,
the
well,
order is
I mean,
gonna
it took them until yesterday we couldn't do anything until we got the contract approved. Now that the contract's approved and it's signed, and I mentioned, I think, maybe I didn't, that when I emailed Dan today, okay, we need the schedule. So we got, we're getting the deliveries, and we have a schedule for what's coming in, namely the shelters. So when, we'll have those signed contracts to Innovation, and then they'll have their schedule. So as soon as they get their schedule, I'll share it with you, and for sure. And, okay, hey, the concrete's going in today. you know.
Because
so.
I know some of the neighbors around it would
Yeah.
like to know.
Yeah, and we'll post
what's
that
being-
on the website too.
What's being done on the
Yep.
area, so they know
Yeah.
noise level maybe, or what's happening.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Great.
concerned what's going on.
Yep.
That would be wonderful. I'm just really excited that we've got these two projects going in, and that we're gonna see
Next year
them
will be pretty
finished
cool.
next year is gonna be, you know, a very exciting time to have these two parks up and running along with the rest of them.
As soon as I get it scheduled, Cheryl, I will share it with everybody.
Yeah, I'm just kind of excited.
Hopefully next week I'll have something.
Yeah, that we've got this moving forward, this is really an exciting thing from starting.
And then our last commissioner, I'm sorry, I don't,
Ryan Pazar, yeah.
Commissioner Bazar, any comments?
Pardon me?
Any comments?
Yes, just excited to be here. Thanks for, letting me join, and I look forward to it.
We're excited you're joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. I have no additional comments, just the kind of ongoing, just very excited that we're actually like building stuff. Or the stuff is
Been a
being
while.
built, not that we're building it, but pretty exciting. Village staff comments?
Welcome, Ryan. You attended a meeting.
Last month.
We must have been very convincing when we were
Sure.
asking you. We told you, we have an opening. And you said, I just moved here. And here you are. So it's very exciting to have a full commission and, you know, someone that is new to the area, new perspectives. That's awesome. So welcome.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Great.
I'll piggyback, welcome, Ryan. As always, I mean, we have a very supportive commission, so the staff is really appreciative of everybody and all the comments, and, you know, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one more question. You guys are working on the budget?
Budget's basically
Budgets
done.
are done?
Yes.
Okay, will we get an insight of what you're asking? Because every year you ask us to support it towards when they do it, so.
I was hoping the question would come up because I didn't want to say anything without you. Should we say?
Go ahead.
I included in the recreation budget hiring the additional program supervisor for the new building. And this budget that's coming up, it would only be 3 months of the 12-month budget. So, but, you know, it's not, you know, it's salary and it's benefits and, you know, and so forth. So that would be great if you wanted to support the,
We always do. When
Yes.
we're in the budget,
Yeah.
then we
and
have
then,
the commission back you up from what you have and
I also included the front desk staff for the 3 months. I think I used 16 weeks to come up with, you know, dollars and so forth, because that we would need, you know, once we opened. So, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we'll have 3 months there. So those were the two add-ons that, you know, do make a difference in the bottom line.
as we move up the full line, we just kind of wanted to know what else you were.
It was mostly some staffing. I'm trying to think of,
Brian included
Right.
some custodial staffing too for the new facility, so that is.
some equipment, you know, like if we have the gym floor, we're gonna need the big, I don't even know what you call it, but, you know, yeah, the big thing that
Well, the-
cleans and polishes and buffs, and so there's, you know, so there's some things that we will need, the scissors lift, you know, so there's some
That's
things.
on Monday at 6 o'clock.
There is a board work, the workshop, Monday, next Monday, correct, thanks, sir.
Yes, at 6 o'clock, so we'll do I'm glad you said that, because I was still thinking it was 7, but they did change
Yeah.
it to 6 yesterday. Well, if you want to come to that, of course, it's an open meeting, you can be there and cheer, lead.
That book's like this thick, the operating budget book. that
Oh,
we
yeah.
have. It's a good read.
Have
Well, the presentation won't be that
I
big.
know, it's just, I think actually, like, Jay, welcome, here you go, and I'm like, all right.
I have tabs.
Yes.
Two of us have already gone through that, so have fun.
Yeah.
The other,
have a-
the other things, I'm sorry, we included were like soccer goals and, you know, the standard programming related things.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Thank you very much. It is now, we are now adjourned. It's fair. My phone got possessed halfway through.